Hello everyone, this is Hearthstone Meta Hype. I am Ecor100 with my friend Venga Dragon. How's it going, Venga?
It is a great day. Hey, congratulations on the graduation, right? And
Thank you.
That was just incredible. And that's why we took the break last week. Is just we had a lot going on. I know you were partying up a storm, so I didn't want to take you away from that. But hey, man, congratulations and thumbs up to that. So I'm hyped about this topic as well. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for the congratulations. It has been a super great past week where I've just been chilling with family and stuff. Not really partying, but it's been fun. But the thing that I wanted to talk about for this episode was talk about Warlock. And I know that you played a lot of Warlock not too long ago. Like that was one of the things that you one-tricked basically. You're playing Control Warlock, or maybe it was as far back as Galakrond Warlock. I don't remember, but it was a while ago where you played a lot. So I know that you like this class at least a little bit, and I want to try to figure out how to bring it from the bottom at about 43 to 44% on any given day in Hearthstone replay and try to bring it up a little bit, because I feel like there are a couple of main issues with it that are problematic. And then also at the end we'll talk about Mage and Rogue, because they have combined like a similar issue, but they're doing a little bit better with 47% win rates, which isn't too bad. I just want to say like what I would do to make them at least a little bit better. So first, what are your thoughts on Warlock?
Well, to answer your question, yeah, I definitely was one trick in Warlock back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, and it was like, it really started, it's funny is I didn't play Warlock at all. It was actually one of the classes that I was doing least and didn't play much at all. I had like 300 wins, and then I started playing it a lot. And that was during during Galakrond, like towards the end of the Galakrond's Awakening and Descent of Dragons. And I wanted to become a Warlock specialist. I was like, yeah, let me, because I started to really love the control. And all of a sudden, no, it's like I've tried to do it again and it just died.
Yeah, it did kind of just die. And I've had the same basic thought process. I, for a long time, didn't play Warlock at all. But after I started actually putting money into the game and I was like, oh, I can afford to play control decks now. I started playing Control Warrior and Priest, and then I got to Warlock and I was like, Warlock is great. I love this deck.
Yeah.
I get to draw consistently. I balance my health with how much I can heal, and like health is actually a resource with this class, which is not the case for like any other class in the game. And I was very excited, and I played it for a bit, and it was good with Galakrond, and then it just kind of fell off the face of the earth. And the reason is because, just the main reason why it's really bad is the meta is so fast right now, and Warlock has no real way of consistently like staying alive, that it just gets run over. And it's good at stopping other control decks, but that's not the meta right now, so it's really bad. But yeah, Warlock was one of those classes that like slowly grew on me, and now it's like my top 3 favorite classes, up there with Warrior for sure. And I'm gonna be honest, I kind of like Hunter as well, not as much, more of just like a nostalgia thing, because it's the first class I got Legend with. It's the class I played in WoW, so it's always going to be up there for me. But I think that Warlock is probably number 3 behind Warrior and Hunter. So I really, really like it, and it's sad to see it as low as it is.
It is a shame, and it's really based on what you were saying. I mean, like a control Warlock right now, it'll crush Druid, Mage even. It does well against Paladin even. I mean, it's just incredible against Priest, and and Warrior even, it does okay. And because you have like some clears and stuff, because Warrior can be fast, even though like the Rush Warrior is kind of fast, but it's not always fast. Sometimes it needs a little bit of development. And when you have Shaman and Elemental Shaman and then Rogue and Warlock, like even Zoo Warlock, it can struggle against. But Death Rattle Demon Hunter can barely do anything against, and of course Hunter is its worst matchup. I mean, it's just in Hunter you're dying on turn. I was trying to play Warlock, either dying on turn 7 or just understanding that you're dying on turn 7. You know what I'm saying? Like by turn 7 the game is either over or it's over.
About to be over.
Yeah. It's just weird how the Hysteria got nerfed was the first step, and then also it lost the Plague of Flames, which was just such a crazy clear. It could clear just everything, and then for 1 mana but you would sacrifice your minions, but you did have the Galakrond package. I mean, and keep in mind, this class was okay up until about a week before the last expansion.
Yeah, I mean, and the expansion changed everything. The expansion got rid of a year's worth of cards, most notably Galakrond, because that was one of the biggest things for Warlock, and then it introduced a ton of new stuff. And I just wanted to bring this up because I thought it was interesting. The 3 worst matchups for this deck are Death Rattle Demon Hunter, then aggro Elemental Shaman and Aggro Shaman and Elemental, just Shaman in general, and then Face Hunter in that order. And those are the 3 most popular, highest win rate decks in the game. And when your worst matchups are those 3 decks by far, and then you also just do about 50% into most other things, and the only hard winning matchup you have is Priest, you're gonna be struggling, because Priest is played a little bit, but it's not enough to bring up the whole win rate of the deck to any reasonable amount. And just because the meta's faster means that it literally just cannot see play, because you don't play against enough control decks to have it actually matter, and the aggro decks are too fast. Like even aggro elemental shaman, or just, you know, shaman in general, you could say, hey, why don't you just, you know, run weapon removal, and weapon removal could at least stop Doomhammer aggro shaman. And that's true, but you'd have to run 2 of them to kill both Doomhammers, because if they get even just 1 Doomhammer to stick on the board, you die. Death Rattle Demon Hunter plays around removal extremely well, because their Death Rattles a lot of the time summon new things. So even if you Twisting Nether their board after they play, you know, the 7-drop that summons 3 Death Rattle minions from your deck, you play Twisting Nether, but then the Death Rattle minions will summon, like, you know, 2 more minions after you've just wiped the board, and you're like, well, I wiped the board and I'm already starting behind again. It's not even like it's a clean reset. I'm gonna take at least 2 to 4 damage next turn.
Yeah.
And then Face Hunter, you just get rolled. Worst case scenario for them, you get perfect wipes on all their stuff, and then they just press the hero power button over and over and over again, and you slowly die because you don't have the healing. And so the point is, it's just really, really bad in the current meta. It's also not that good against Druid and Paladin and Mage, like 45 to 49% win rate. So it's not awful, but it's still not favored. And just across the board, it doesn't look good to me.
Yeah, and if you look at the class, it has all the healing now with the soul fragments, which I love, by the way. I love the soul fragments. I think they're great, really cool. But you'd think with like there's times like I've literally had like 14 soul fragments in my deck or something, and you're like, oh, no problem. I got 2.
I'll draw
reloads.
1.
Yeah, you know, yeah, it's coming, you know, and
it just doesn't.
Or either it doesn't or it does, but it's just not enough. Like, it's not, dare I say, they're too slow. You know, it's like, and the meta is just so fast. I mean, Face Hunter is just, according to what I thought Face Hunter is its absolute worst matchup. Is that true or not?
Its absolute worst matchup is Death Rattle Demon Hunter, and I think it's because the reason that I said,
yeah, your clears actually help
refill the board.
Yeah, your clears help them.
Yeah,
it's like,
or at least doesn't hurt them.
Yeah.
Like, or it could help them and bring out bigger minions with Death Rattle effects.
Yeah.
So it's just, and then they finish you off with the Illidari Inquisitor, and you're just dead. They're just 8 damage charge, basically.
Yeah. So what do you think in terms of, like, why, like, besides the fact that it's just slow, like, what could help this? What do you think it could be? What does it need?
So you said that the soul fragments were good healing and you really liked them, and I think the opposite. Because if you look at the other 2 control classes in the game, I guess you could argue 3 with Shaman. Shaman's seeing a little bit more control, but I'm not going to throw it in here just yet. It hasn't had enough games for me to, like, say it's good or bad. With Warrior and Priest, you have on-demand healing with your hero powers that you can use at any time. Warriors isn't healing necessarily, but it's armor. It's basically the same thing. And multiple ways of getting it on demand from a card, like immediately, rather than having to wait. Whereas Warlock, it has several cards that could eventually at most heal you 4, which isn't very good, because, like, you could play a card in Priest, like, you know, Holy Nova, right? And let's just compare Holy Nova to, I mean, nobody really plays Holy Nova, and because it's not a great card, but this is one of Priest's, like, lesser cards compared to, not Soul Rend, it's the other one, the School Spirits, sorry, which is one of the best removals, at least early game, for Warlock. And the Priest card will immediately heal you 2, and all of your minions and stuff, so if you have anything on board, it can heal you can heal your side for anywhere up until from 2 to maybe even 14 HP. Whereas School Spirits, yes, you can do it for 1 more, but it damages your own board, and it doesn't, you can play for 1 less, sorry, but it damages your own board, and it doesn't heal you on demand. And not healing on demand against a very aggressive deck, because you could be like, oh, I'll draw it eventually into Aggro Shaman, Death Rattle Demon Hunter, and Face Hunter means you have to draw it by turn 7 or you're dead.
Yeah.
So either A, there needs to be stuff that basically just on demand healing. There needs to be something that, because what we were talking about with the mini set was there should be a Warlock card that says like draw 2 soul fragments. So that way you can heal 4 or like draw 1 soul fragment or something, because that would end up being draw 2 cards. So you'd be able to draw an extra card, automatically heal 2, but in order for the effect to go off, you'd need to draw it, or you'd need to have a soul fragment in your deck for it to actually work. So there is still a condition you have to meet, and even though it's a fairly powerful ability, it's not overly powerful. It's like, let's just say it's a 3 mana 3/3 heal 2 draw a card. If you have a soul fragment in your deck.
Yeah. Well,
and I don't even think that's too powerful, considering the stuff that Hunter puts out, or Token Druid, or Demon Hunter, or Shaman. Like, I don't know. Well, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, that card is technically supposed to be Lucky Soul Hoarder, isn't it? A corrupted.
Yeah, but it doesn't draw the soul fragment. The healing's very important.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, you know, like I totally know what you're saying.
But yeah,
but it's supposed to be like that. But you could run Malagos maybe, and it would draw all your spells. There you go. You could draw all your
turn 9. Now you're dead on turn 7 to Demon Hunter, Shaman, and Face Hunter. Like if Malagos costs 6 mana for whatever reason, then great.
Yeah.
Also, I think soul fragments should be able to like over heal you, because when you draw them and you're at full HP and it feels terrible, they basically just get wasted. That's another problem with soul fragments. They could ultimately end up doing nothing, but you could have like draw this card, heal 2, if you're at full HP, over heal, and you could just over heal with soul fragments. So there's no downside to putting soul fragments in your deck early, because sometimes it just feels bad to do that too.
Wow, that's actually pretty cool. Like, check this out. What if this is how about an interesting thing for it, right? But firstly, though, I want to clarify what I meant by, though I like soul fragments, I like the interactions with them, like how they're
creative, they're interesting.
Yeah, like sociology, like militia is a cool interaction. How you can also I can't remember the demon that you lay down and it gets augmented health. There's also another card that does damage to minions on the board. So I like those interactions, and that's what I mean. Not just the healing, but I do get what you're saying about the healing.
The interactions are cool though, like using something that's in your deck that you have to like build up over time to actually get usefulness out of some of the cards. But if you do get the use out of them, they're really, really strong, and if you don't, they're still okay, but they're definitely not great.
What about this for your overhealing, right? So you play Spirit Jailer on 1, of course, right? And then,
of course, every time.
And then the next turn, your first card you draw is a soul fragment, and it doesn't do anything, right? It's like the worst thing that can happen to you is that, right? That's like, you know, it always feels bad when that happens. But what if you actually got 2 health for like almost like a force field or something of like 2 health, right? That dissipated the following turn or something. Like it expired. In other words, like you're saying overheal. So on turn 1, in turn 2, you draw the soul fragment. You would then be at like 30 health plus this force field of health, right? And then your opponent can do whatever. And then the next turn it disappears. You follow what I'm saying? Like when you overdraw, you get those.
I feel like that would be hard to do, but at the same time, it is more creative and potentially better than just overhealing. But like for me, why would you make it just temporary? Yeah. That's my biggest question. Like when you compare it to Priest and Warrior, they can permanently gain health and heal up without it being too much of a problem, and Warlock is in desperate need of something for survivability. I don't know why they would make it temporary. I do like the idea, and if Warlock was a little bit stronger, like at a 47% win rate but still struggling, but like wasn't getting destroyed this hard, I would say temporary health might be the answer.
Yeah, well let me answer that question for you though. Why temporary? Because like you said, that it's instant, right? You hit the hero power with the warrior, you get 2 armor, right? You play a minion for 1 mana, and you don't get it instantly, obviously. But if let's say though that you did play that, and then you happen to get 2 in a row, then you've spent 1 mana for this extra health, which is then I think is a little bit too strong. That's why I suggested that it would be temporary, because you could technically, I don't know, it just seems like it just feels like it would be too strong. I don't know why I say that, but I feel like it's like you're paying 2 mana every time you get the armor, but it's sort of like the dormant demons that are like, they're kind of powerful, but they sit dormant and then they arise later. You know what I'm saying? So there's kind of a trade back there. If it didn't have that, there would be no drawback really to playing them. I don't know.
But I feel like the odds of getting them back to back are so low. Like I know that you are allowed to draw another one immediately with the Soul Fragment. Like, that's how Soul Fragment, if you draw one, you automatically get to draw another card. So I know this would affect the statistics a little bit, but assuming you had, like, after you played the Soul Fragment and drew your card or whatever, you had 26 and 25 cards in your deck when you played it, the odds of that happening is 0.15%. That's less than 1% of that actually happening. And I feel like saying it should be temporary because there's a 0.15 chance that it's super strong is a bit much for me. Actually, I guess because of permutations, I guess you could double it to 0.3%, but that's the highest they would probably go. But still, it's less than 1% chance that this ends up happening. And I think that a temporary thing would be interesting, but maybe 2 turns rather than 1, because again, if you draw on turn 1, who's gonna do 2 damage and break through your force field immediately?
A hunter.
I mean, I guess, yeah, that's one class that could do it, I guess.
Your worst matchup, right? But or one of your worst. I hear you, brother.
I feel like two turns or something could be better or something. I don't know.
I hear you. Yeah, I'm just saying. So what else do you think could help the class? Because we kind of said like so better Soul Fragment interaction, maybe even faster.
Better healing of some sort. Like I said, like obviously that could be with better Soul Fragment interaction or just more healing in general. I think they have enough removal and cheap removal, especially with the new card, the 2-mana thing that does 6 damage. Damage you do above their HP will be done to yourself and all that. So they've got plenty of decent to even just straight up good removal. I don't think they need more of that. It's literally just healing. They also have some decent draw, but I mean, obviously they're Warlock. They have their hero power and some good draw cards. It's really just the healing, because
it's crazy.
That's their biggest, that's their only issue, really. But it's so bad with how fast the meta is that they're because I really think that Control Warlock is the best control deck. And has the potential to be a really top tier deck, but its one weakness is so glaring that it means that it won't ever see play until it's fixed or the meta slows way down.
I gotta tell you, the funny part is it's like when you say that it's healing, like just hear me out. It's almost like shocking to hear that, because there has been times that you play against Warlock with a specific class, you get them down to like 3-4 health, and they wind up back at 30. You know what I mean? Like with just back at 30 health, and it's incredible. Like I've seen it happen. I mean, and there is a ton of healing in there, so it's really not. I don't think the issue is healing. I just think, like you said, it's speed. It's instant. It's the timing.
I still think it's healing. I've never healed back up to 30 HP with the Warlock. From like a low HP. I mean, maybe with Reno back when he was in existence years ago.
You don't got the magic,
maybe
man.
Back when the
You don't got the magic.
Maybe the one that with the spell stones, if you remember those, the ones that upgraded, the one that if your hero's taken damage 2 separate times, it went from 3 damage to 5 damage to 7 damage with lifesteal for like 3 mana or something. I don't fully remember, but like with some of those things, it was good. But like, yeah, why don't they have more cards like that?
Yeah. Well, we talked about that with remember the interaction, like the dragon, the card they used to have, the Netherbreath. Yeah. Like so, and we talked about that for the shaman. We actually talked about it for the shaman class, and we were like, we just need one card that can interact with the shaman. And guess what? They gave you 2.
They gave us 2, and now it's the best class in the game. So maybe give Warlock 1, and it'll become a decent class, but not overly powerful. I don't know. It's just because you say Warlock has a lot of healing and they can heal back up to 30 HP, but like compare that to, you know, Warrior, which can Rancor against an aggro deck on turn 4 and gain like 12 armor, or against a Priest that for 7 mana can play, or less if you've played like Palm Reading or whatever, could play Blademaster, Sumeru, and Apotheosis and actually consistently heal back up to 30 HP and wipe the board all at the same time, not to mention all their other healing, and the fact that their hero power automatically heals them if they're in a pinch. So like, okay, this hunter might have 8 damage, you know, in his hands somehow, so I would hero power here if I were a Warlock or a Priest, or not Warlock, if I were Warrior or Priest, so that way he can't do the 8 damage. But a Warlock, if you hero power, you're lowering your HP, and you have a slight chance of maybe getting a Soul Fragment or like Drain Soul to heal 3, but even then, if you life tap and draw Drain Soul, you're really only net healing 1 HP by the end of that anyway, because you took 2 to heal 3, and I don't know, it's basically just the healing. I think the speed is a little bit slow, but that's fine because it is built to be like a more control class right now, in my opinion. There's some Zoo Warlock decks that you could also play if you want to go faster. And I don't think it should be good at everything, because I feel like it's kind of what they did with Shaman. They came out with like 2 cards that fixed both of their weaknesses, and it just became a lot stronger. So if you have it keep one weakness of being slow, but fix the other one of, you know, not getting overly destroyed by aggro decks, because it's like the only control deck that loses to aggro.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's weird.
It feels weird to me.
It does.
Warlock as a class feels weird because like it looks like it would be good, and all the cards look solid. It's got great late game. It can go infinite. You can get multiple primes. It looks like you have good removal, and then you'll go into a game and you're like, well, I just died turn 6. What happened? Like I even felt like I had a good hand too. I had a School Spirits. I had a Drain Soul. I had a Siphon Soul to kill off one of their big minions like Trampling Rhino. But by the time I Siphon Soul, Trampling Rhino's already done like 4 damage to me. And by the time I School Spirits, I've already taken like 6 damage from their minions. They're consistently hero powering me. And I just, you know, never ended up drawing a Soul Fragment, and I lost. And I don't know, it's just, it's a weird class.
It is a weird class, and it just went off a cliff. And the thing that makes me wonder is there actually a good control warlock in just hidden, because maybe it just needs to be discovered. Maybe there's a couple of cards in there that can make the difference for it that we have already in the meta right now. You know,
I've been trying. I'm actually going to be playing one on stream today or yesterday by the time this gets posted, depending on when. But yeah, I really want to try to get Control Warlock to work. I'm probably going to try the one that gives demons lifesteal.
Yeah.
Because like it's not, you only run like 3 demons in your entire deck. Maybe a little bit more if you now run the 2/6, the one. But if you run the 2/6, your cards now cost HP, which again is the whole issue with Warlock. You're taking too much damage too quickly.
Yeah. Well, check this out. Why not? This is the famous always, right? This is one of the things. If you need a little help with a deck, just throw a broom in there. You know what I'm saying?
Broom.
Just throw an animated broomstick in there. You know, just get it going. You get that instant healing. You have a demon on the board. You rush in and you get that instant healing. That's like the dream right there. So the cards that you need for the instant healing. That you need the Morgue Artificer, and you need the broom. Throw that broom in there. Get a little rush action on a demon with some big ass health and attack, and just go crazy. Go for it.
Sounds pretty good.
So I think we really need the audience to give their suggestions as well.
They always come up with great suggestions. Like the whole one with making the Crab Rider's ability of Wind Fury a battle cry was not something I had considered until somebody on stream was like, hey, have you ever considered this? And I was like, wait, that's actually a pretty good idea. And then Blizzard ended up doing it. So you guys have great ideas. Put them in the comments. Love to hear them and talk about this maybe again at some point using your ideas.
But don't worry about it. We take all the credit for it anyway, right? So that's
we'll just steal it. We'll be like, oh, we came up with this.
Yeah. So hit that like, hit that subscribe. Make sure that you stay hyped. And let's get over to the second segment because we're going to talk about the meta a little more.